What's up guys, this is Red from Templars of Twilight. I'm gonna be making one of the first person VODs I've been doing in a really long time. And it's gonna be a Terran against Zerg. Me playing Terran against Mondragon. I'm sure everybody knows him. And I just got this idea last night and this game was played today, so it's not one of the best games I've ever played, but it turned out to be a pretty long and fun game. And it's on the map Destination. I'm at the bottom spot and Mondragon is at the top spot. I'm going to be playing pretty standard, opening with 9 depot. It's going to be followed by 11 racks, just a fast expansion build. I apologize for all the friend message spam that was in this that's in this video. I should have turned on D&D, but I didn't remember at the time. And it's just a whole bunch of bullshit from the people I usually hang out with on iCup. Anyways, I don't really have to say much about Mondragon because I guess sure everybody knows him. He's probably the best Zerg outside Korea and has been for a really long time. And right now he's pretty active. I think he has to play against White Raw pretty soon in like ESL finals or whatever. But he's playing quite a lot, and we've played quite a few games over the past few weeks or so. Here you can see that I'm scouting with my SCV on supply count 12. This is so that I can see whether Zerg has 12 hatched before I place my second depot, so I have the option to go fast command center even before my second depot and just play like without any defense, because I'll know whether Zerg is making Zerglings or pull first or whatever pretty quick. So here I see that he has in fact 12 hatching, so I send an SCV to my natural, and I'm going to be making my my second command center there pretty soon. With this scouting SCV, you can see he's already made the hatch and the pool, so there's not really a lot of harassing you can do, but what I usually try to do is, like, Zerg really likes tree hatch build, especially non-Korean Zergs like the tree hatch, so I just use this SCV to block drones from possibly making a third hatchery. In this game I don't really succeed very well at that because he attacked my SCV and I just didn't micro well enough, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna make my second barracks before any marines because he's not making any lings and he's just going for a tree hatch gas build, so I may as well take every advantage I can possibly get. And this sets me up pretty good for a big army in the mid game that I really like to use to harass third gas base from Zerg when they go muta. But you'll see in this game that things work out a little bit differently because Mondragon is a pretty sneaky guy, and he tries all these sneaky strategies, and he does that as well in this game. So here's just me main arting some SCVs to my expansion, usually about 5 or 6, sometimes 7, because I don't want to send too many. And I'm just gonna keep scouting with my SCV, and I see that he's going tree hatch lair, so at this point you pretty much expect tree hatch muta play with maybe some speedlings, but because I lost my SCV so quickly, I'm gonna put my marines on my ramp and rally my Rexes there because I don't want to lose to a possible all-in speedling tree hatch build, which you have to be very careful of, especially if you're playing Peruvian Zergs or Eastern European Zergs. But against Mondragon it's not that likely, but he's done it before, so I'm still taking a safe route. And at this point it's just gonna be me getting my medics and me getting stim before I really make another move, because before that I can't really do anything at all really to him. So I'm just building my base. I guess what can I say, I'm making depots and engineering bay for the one weapon upgrade, which is really nice against mutas. And this will often happen. Zerg is sending a few Zerglings to harass your SCVs, and you have to be careful not to lose an SCV because it's unnecessary. But then again, you also have to be careful that they're not just trying to pull you out of your base and have like a whole bunch of speedlings waiting for you, because that way it's pretty easy to die without stim or without medics. So I'm going to be going for a 4 barracks build, just adding my 3rd barracks right now. I'll be adding my 4th barracks in a bit. I'm a little bit late on my depot, unfortunately, so there will be a little bit of a lack of... I usually make my comp sets a little bit later. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but anyways, I can't make too many marines right now because I'm waiting for the depot, so I'm adding my 4th barracks a little bit sooner than usual. So now I have stim almost done, a bunch of medics, and I'm getting ready to move out. I usually move out and just wait a little bit outside my bridges, then I try to send an SEV to scout for a possible third base, which can be either on the 11 o'clock position or on the 1 o'clock position, or sometimes Zergs, especially the ones that know my style, try to sneak an expansion to the right side of my base or one of the middle expansions, because they know I really like to send out early Marines and just try to kill it, even though they have mutas, because I don't think you'll find a lot of Zergs outside Korea that can really do well enough with mutas, so you have to be too careful with your Marines. However, if you're playing a really good Korean, like a pro gamer or somebody of that level, you're gonna have a really hard time moving out early with your Marines, because you're just gonna pick them off one by one. And here I see that he has a Spire and he has a Hydralisk Den, and he has a whole bunch of larvae. So there, and he has an evolution chamber, and this makes me kind of think that he's doing the fake muta lurker build because of the early evolution chamber, which with muta builds is not that likely. So and because I know Mondragon and I know he likes to do this build, I'm already a little bit wary of the possibility of this happening. So I'm going to scan again pretty soon to see what comes out of these eggs that are hatching, and I see 2 hydras, so I already know what's up. So at this point I know I can cancel my turrets, and I have to rush and send out Marines just so he can't move lurkers freely around the map. In the meantime, I'm just going for the 1 factory, 1 starport basic build. Just keeping that SCV production up and trying to macro up a nice mid-game army to do something with. And to ideally hit him before he gets the defilers and he has too many bases. My whole goal is to try and keep him like on low gas count, so he can't like mass ultra or mass lurker defiler or just like totally overwhelm me. Right now he's probably taking the expansion on the 10 o'clock position, and I scanned the 2 o'clock position, but for some reason the thought doesn't enter my mind that he probably is taking the 10 o'clock position right now. I should have sent my Marines there probably, but also I'm trying to keep him contained just so he can't like counter my my base. Okay, so here he's rushing out with Lurker Ling, and this is I'm just pulling back trying to kill stuff. This is pretty decent micro by me, but I lose my medic, so now I have 1 medic and only a few Marines, and now I completely fuck up and he surrounds me and I end up losing most of this army. But I think it's okay, because you know I kept him in his base for a decent amount of time, and I had the chance to build up a new army. So my SCV scout said he's in fact taking the 10 o'clock base, and I'd say right now the game is pretty even, because he didn't get that 3rd gas super early, and he didn't kill all that many units, although he did kill quite a few. But I did kill a Lurker and a whole bunch of Lings, and I do have a new group of Marines. I'm really low on medics this game, which is really hurting me. I'm not sure why that happens. It doesn't usually happen to me. And here's pushing my my bridges, which is really annoying, because those bridges on this map destination, it's extremely difficult to get like a large Marine force based army out there, because the Marines just get stuck on the bridges and he can run up lurkers, and it's just shitty. And he's also moved 2 lurkers behind my minerals with an overlord there to harass my mineral line, which is really smart and really annoying, because I don't have siege yet, and just 1 tank shooting won't kill these lurkers fast enough, and it's really slowing down my my timing of moving out with my army. So he keeps me busy here, and I just try to micro these tanks and, you know, stop him from killing too many SUVs. I can't really do anything right now. I'm just hoping to set myself up for a good mid game with lots of SUVs and lots of barrack and probably 2 port, and just trying to have a pretty decent macro. You'll often see me fuck up and make way too many Marines in 1 barracks, just because, you know, I really am a macro based player, so I often go back to my Rexes to create units, and then I'll fuck up and click you know, click without thinking, and I'll have too many units queued up in one barracks, which really isn't ideal. Okay, so right now I chased the lurkers off temporarily, but I know there's the possibility of him moving them back, but I just can't wait, because if I wait too long he'll have defilers out and I have to move out right now. So I decide to ignore those lurkers and just seize up here and try to break out of my base. He's moving back, and he ends up scourging my vessel, which is rather silly by me to lose my first vessel. It's a mistake that can really cost you. And here he's trying to block in my units using the bridges, but it's not enough lurkers for it to really work, so I can just scan and stim my units and break out pretty much. So right now he's probably getting Hive almost ready. I'm not sure if it's ready yet or not, but I'm pretty sure he's getting up there. And I really need to add some barracks. I'm really late with this. It's kind of a mistake, because if you look at my money count, I could really use support a lot more barracks right now. So I'm moving out with tank vessel, because most likely Zerg will burrow a few lurkers just to slow you down. So I usually just send my tanks and vessel out without looking, because it'll take care of the lurkers and it saves me time and I can go back to my base. So here I'm pushing, and it seems like he doesn't have a lot of units, so I'm just spreading my units and stimming into his army, and it's working okay. But as you can see, he ensnared me, and I have way too little medics, and all my marines are low health, and position's kind of shitty, and the medics are low energy, so my marines aren't really healing. So that's kind of bad play by me, and I should have had more medics, and you know, this army would have been a lot stronger. But as it is right now, I can't really proceed to be offensive with it. I scanned the 10 o'clock position to see if I could possibly run there with my army, but there's two lurkers, and knowing that my marines are low health and my medics are low energy, I can't really do anything to stop those, to kill those two lurkers and kill that expansion. Here he comes into me and kills my tank with about 7 lurkers, so I pull back. Right now I'm feeling like I'm pretty much behind, because he did get 3 base for like a really long time, and the filer is probably almost ready, if not ready already. And he my army seems to be really fucked up, so I see these marines, see these lurkers board, and I try to stim into them with my marines, try to make a circle to kill it, just so I can get the map control and the advantage. But because of my bad army compositions and my medics being low energy, and also the fact there's way too many links there, it didn't really work as I planned, so that was kind of a really bad move. So now I'm definitely behind, and I'm gonna have to luckily I made enough barracks to have pretty decent like amount of units coming out pretty soon, so I can hopefully regain map control, and you know, I have 2 ports, so I can keep building vessels and hopefully try to deny a fort base at least, and you know, hopefully try to keep him small and don't give him the time to get 4 gas autos going, because that's really deadly. In the meantime, I've been keeping upgrading, and because of those early lurkers, I rallied my starport like right above the mineral line on my natural. This ends up being pretty fucked up for me, because I forget to get my vessels from that position, and for most of the game I use a lot less vessels than I actually have, as you can see right here, but I don't really notice it. So I build up another army, so here I'm trying to regain map control. He once again doesn't have a lot of units there, so I should be realizing that he has moved his units around the map and is going for a counter or something like that. And as you can see right now, there's rat on the left side of the map, so he is in fact coming. And I go to my natural, I stim my marines, and because I attack him at the same time, I guess he doesn't have the multitask ability to do both things at once really well, and he ends up losing his counter, like all his units, without pretty much doing anything, as you can see right here. And this kind of puts me back into the game, because I'm on the offensive here, and he does say oops, so I guess he realized he messed up, and I ended up you know, killing a lot of units, and you know, taking control of that area and trying to be annoying, because he doesn't have the muscle to really break me, but he does have Defiler and Plague, so I have to be careful. But he can't really just run into me and kill these units off, so I'm just being annoying like all over the place. And right now I'm trying to take my 3rd base, and I scanned that expansion to once again see if I could kill it, but there's a sunken there and a lurker, and just with my medic's energy being drained like this from the constant fighting, I can't really do anything about it. And right now I should be worried about his 4th base, which he probably has either on the 12 o'clock position or on the 9 o'clock positions, but for some reason, I don't know what it was this game, but I'm not really doing too good of a job of scouting and, you know, being, I guess you could call it game sense, or being positionally aware. But I do see the base there right now, but when I later watch this replay, it turns out he had the 9 o'clock base for a really long time, so I'm actually far behind, and the only way I can win this right now is by, you know, keeping stuff irradiated and you know, just macroing my ass off and trying to secure my third base, and just, you know, because my upgrades are pretty good right now. I do have +3 weapon for Marines on the way, and I do have a nice amount of barracks and starports, so hopefully I can keep up the unit production and keep up with the Zerg right now. I do get my third base. There's a Ling there, but I take it out with 4 Marines. And here he is trying to flank my army with a defiler there. I irradiate it, but unfortunately he plagues almost all my Marines, and I see the amount of Lurkers, so at this point I'm just like, whatever, I'm not gonna win that battle anyway, so I just give up and take satisfaction in the fact that I did kill the expansion. So right now I have to be worried about the 9 o'clock expansion, but I'm once again not doing anything about it. I just keep building my units and macroing up a bigger army, just getting ready for another attack and just keeping him under pressure and keeping him struggling to stay in the game. Hopefully catch him in a micro mistake and be able to kill a lot of units very cost efficiently. And see, there I see all my vessels. I'm like, what the hell? I have these vessels? I didn't know. I guess I must have messed up my rally point. But at this point in the game, I'm actually pretty happy with all those vessels because I could really use them. As Zerg probably has 4 gas right now, and an Ultra Switch must be on the way. Here's some Scourges. I don't really care because I need to irradiate stuff, and I need to put pressure on this area on the map where he seems to have hotkeyed rallied his hatches. So if I do take this area out of the map, it's going to be hard for him to take it back because all his hatches are rallied to this area. So all of his stuff is just going to stream in there. It's going to be hard for him to control it all as it pops out of his hatches. So I did irradiate the defilers, and here I stim into his army, and there's no defilers, so I am able to take out a lot of Lurkers with my well upgraded Marines, just making a spreading formation, taking as little damage as possible from the Lurkers. But he does end up having a lot of Lings as well, and that was a lot of Lurkers, so I actually end up losing most of my Marines, but that's quite okay because he did lose most of his army, and as you can see, his new units are streaming into that area, and it's not a lot. And if I just send new units, I can probably take control of that area of the map quite easily. And I made 2 dropships to try and drop his main because he's obviously very busy defending my constant stream of units coming into the middle of the map. And I'm hoping to take advantage of this and drop his main where he's maybe not paying attention and he won't be able to scourge my dropships because he's using all of his scourge for my vessels. Here I irradiate the Lurker because I possibly want to make a move on this expansion after it's killed by the vessel. I just keep the pressure on his the area where he's rallying all his units, and I try to take out stuff as cost efficiently as possible. He does have a lot of Lurkers right now. I do stim into this. I'm not sure if I end up killing all those Lurkers, but with the way my units are positioned, either way, whether I win or lose, I'm pretty sure the battle is pretty cost efficient for me because, you know, my Lurkers are pretty spread out pretty well, and you know, they're not in one big line, and I end up killing a lot of units for what I have worth. And I just keep irradiating stuff and trying to put pressure on him while I move my dropships to his main base right now. And here I finally do scan the 9 o'clock expansion and the 2 o'clock expansion, so I realized that Zerg is on 5 gas right now, and if he made an Ultralisk cavern, I'm sure he would be able to pump out a lot of Ultralisks very soon. So this drop basically needs to do a lot of damage, and I need to take out these expansions before it's too late and before I end up losing the game. I try to take out the Defiler Mount here, but he ensnares my Marines, and he runs in Lings and Lurkers and the Defiler as well. So there's swarms, so I can't kill this Lurker, so I have to pull back and try and save my Marines and do some more damage. I attacked the 9 o'clock base at the same time, and then I noticed there's 2 Lings in my third base, which I haven't noticed this whole time, and they probably killed about 15 SCVs, which is pretty terrible for me right now because I really needed those SCVs and those minerals right there. And here's another Lurker swarm trying to defend my drop, which I pull back from, and then I realized that I don't see a lot of Scourges, and since I just killed the 9 o'clock base, he lost all his drones in his main or sent them to his natural, I'm going for an eraser on his natural to try and take out drones, because this is going to be a very low economy game from at this point, since he killed so many SCVs at my third base. And so I try to get equal on economy and try to take out as many drones as possible. Here I accidentally attack my own command center, which obviously isn't a good idea, and I hope you guys don't copy that stuff. It's a misclick. I'm only a white man, and my EPM is not that high, so I often make these mistakes just as well as having too many Marines in a single barracks. I do end up repairing my command center, and I do not get it infested, which is always a good thing. And I grab my new vessels here and my new Marines, which isn't that many because my economy isn't that good anymore. I see that he in fact started his Ultralisk tech, and he's making Ultralisk, but unfortunately I killed a lot of drones and I killed his Fort Gas, so I'm able to keep him low on the Ultralisk, and here I pretty much irradiate all of them. So and he's going for my third base, and I end up intercepting it with my 2 groups of Marines. So all these Ultralisks end up dying, and at that point I'm feeling pretty confident because I have a lot of vessels and I do have some source of income left, and all he has really is the base on the 10 o'clock position, and the base on the 2 o'clock position, but that one's pretty new, so there's not a lot of drones there yet, and not a lot of income being generated at that base yet. So after I kill these Ultras, I can go kill that base pretty easily, and I just hope he hasn't messed up a lot more Ultralisks where he is able to kill my army. So I scan for the place he has proven to have rallied all his units, and I just see 1 Ultra right there, so I'm wondering if he's going for a counter along the left side of the map, so I scan, but it doesn't seem that way, and he's just pulling back Lurkers and Defilers to defend against my attack on the 2 o'clock base. And he ensnared all of my vessels, so they're really slow, and this is really irritating because I really needed to irradiate that Defiler a lot sooner, so he couldn't swarm and burrow Lurkers to defend against this attack, but I end up being too late and I have to pull back my Marines and wait for Swarm to wear off. I do end up irradiating more units. I know at this point his economy is not that good, so he can't be making that many more units, so I just kind of move around the map and keep the pressure on and try to kill as many units as possible, trying to be cost efficient, and just keep the pressure on, like is often the case in late game TvZs where Zerg is struggling to stay on 4 or 3 bases, and they won't have that many units, and they'll be really hard for them to defend with Defilers and Lurkers because they have to keep moving to the left side and the right side, and just won't be enough. And at this point Mondragon concedes because he lost all his units and his economy is very low, and he doesn't have enough bases, and he realizes he loses the game. Well, that was pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was the first in a long time. I'll try to do a couple more. And I guess goodbye for now.